Wagwan Chelsea fans, welcome back to the Other Side of the Pond football channel. Let's get into it. Stadium rebuild, Noni unveiling, Xavi Simons, yes or no, Jackson in or out. A lot of things that we can get into today, guys. A lot of things I'm going to be speaking about. Or the stadium saga, or the civil war, whatever you want to call it. Whatever this, whatever this bad relationship or this strenuous relationship is happening between Clear Lake Capital and Todd Boehly. So we know that in 2022, Todd Boehly approached Clear Lake Capital to form a consortium to purchase what was Chelsea at a very, very cut price. You know, I've spoken about this in other videos. I've gone into depth about it. I'm not really going to get into depth about the whole Chelsea sale. It happened. They bought the club, and ever since they bought the club, they've always had dividing visions and, dividing views on how the club should be ran. I've always seen Todd Boehly more of a sporting person, someone who just concentrates more on wanting the sport to be good. And I've seen Clear Lake as a person, Clear Lake Capital as more of the people who are just about the bottom line, who want to see the brand of Chelsea grow, but mostly want to see the money coming in to please their investors. Because we have to understand, Clear Lake Capital owns about 63% of Chelsea, and Clear Lake Capital is run by Jose Feliciano and Benedict Bali. So Benedict Bali and Jose Feliciano run this investment company, and they're playing around with people's money. You know, so when you're playing around with people's money, there needs to be certain accountability that you have. When you're playing around with any money, you need to be accountable. So that's their deal. That's what brings them to Chelsea. What brings Todd Boehly to Chelsea is money as well. Listen, we're all about money. Todd Boehly is there in this thing to make money too. So let me not paint Todd Boehly as a person who cares very much about Chelsea. No, he also cares about money, but he does care about sport a little bit. So he has this desire to own these sporting franchises in America and in the UK, and he's achieved that. He's achieved that, right? So in both of their different ways, the biggest thing between the two of them is ownership. So 63% to Todd Boehly is about, I think it's about 21%. So there's a big gap between the two. So that's why in the first season we saw Todd Boehly purchase Raheem Sterling, Koulibaly's, Aubameyangs, and he purchased all these players for now. They were now players. They were big players on big contracts who were meant to perform now. Unfortunately, none of them did. Koulibaly a little bit in spits and spats, Raheem Sterling a little bit in the beginning, and then it was done. So these players that Todd Boehly bought did not perform. Then they changed the strategy. We went to young players, young players with a high future resale value and a high potential, right? We didn't like it. It looks like it's working out a little bit now. It's looking like it's getting to the point where these boys are maturing right in front of our eyes and we're seeing what's happening. So that's good, I guess. There's different views, and there always has been different views. So in the beginning of this season, we heard rumors of a civil war between Benedict Bali and Todd Boehly. I don't think it was really a civil war. I think it is exactly what I'm about to explain to you. Situation between these two partners in this business, which is our club, is the stadium. They cannot agree with the stadium, guys. So I'm gonna put up. Pause a little bit. Cut that out. Okay, so I'm gonna put this up for you guys so you guys can see. I'm sure you do remember our previous owner, Roman Abramovich. He had a plan for Chelsea rebuild. It was going to be called the Cathedral. was not going to be the Stamford Bridge. It was we called the Cathedral. I put it up for you guys to see right now. It was a beautiful plan that he had planned. It didn't work out though. It didn't work out because of the sanctions, and he had to sell the club. The Cathedral didn't happen, right? But that was planned to be built on Stamford Bridge land, on what is SW6 Chelsea in London, right? Good plan, didn't work out. Right now, Benedict Bali and Clearlake Capital are planning sort of the same thing. They're planning to stay in the same area, rebuild basically on the same land, on Stamford Bridge land, SW6 London, right? Now the only issue with this is that you can only fit 60,000 people in this space. There's no way for you to do anything. Maybe you could do another 10,000 to 70 if you build up, if you build a bowl, like how Camp Nou and Barcelona built that bowl-looking thing. It doesn't look pretty, guys. It does not look nice. And aesthetically, these stadiums, I think it's important for them because that's how they pull people, the aesthetics, right? So other than just the team playing, I think the stadium needs to look good. Now, what is the opposing thought is what Todd Bowley has. Todd Bowley wants to move to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the place called Earls Court. So this is Earls Court. Earls Court So this is Earls Court, right? Earls Court is basically still in London. It's very close to Kensington, as I'm putting it up on the map for you guys here, as you can see. It's not the core middle of London, but it's still London, still true London. And there's a development that is being planned there that apparently Chelsea can be able to buy out that development and get into that land. Now, that land would see us be able to build an 80,000 capacity stadium. If we push it, we could go to 90, but 80,000 is perfect for us. 80,000 is a perfect growth, especially if we're looking to play Champions League every season, especially if we're looking to bring in international supporters, such as myself, such as my co-host on the podcast. We are international supporters that can be able to access that area, that can be able to access. So now I'm not saying to proper supporters from London, I know you guys are against that, but for us, it's a little bit more feasible because as well, I know that there's 3 tubes. You call them tubes, we call them subways, right? There's 3 tubes that run through Earls Court. So now, Earls Court is looking like a easy location, accessible for fans, first of all, accessible for your day-to-day person, because you can just take a train. No Ubers, no taxis, no buses that you have to take to get into the stadium. So another thing is that Todd Bowley is looking at adding stadium revenue, like the same way Tottenham does with their stadium. So having a multifunctional stadium that can change terrains and change turfs and change the field or pitch. And you need space to do that. And honestly, if Chelsea took that model on, because Spurs is making a lot of money. Why do you think Spurs don't care about winning trophies? Spurs is making a lot of money from the NFL deals, from the NBL deals. And unfortunately, that's where sport is going. That's where sport is going. It's being Americanized. And what we cannot deny is that American people pay. You know, that's one thing that they do. They're so used to paying, they pay. So if you open up the American stream or open up an American revenue to your business, you basically have constant customers who are willing to pay, you know? So I think, if you ask me, I'd lean towards more the Todd Bowley side, because I would love to see Chelsea have a bigger stadium in a different place, you know, and have that revenue. Because as I said to you, if we start doing what Spurs are doing, best believe we're taking all that shit from Spurs. You know what I'm saying? We're taking all that shit from Spurs, all those deals that they were getting for the stadium stuff, all this, the boxing from DAZN, all that stuff, that's being hosted in our stadium. Let's be honest, we're the champions of the world. Remember that, 4 years, let's go, baby. You know, so let's use that pool that we have. Let's use that pool that we have. Let's use it to our advantage. Let's make more money. I'm okay. Let's make more money. I'm with them. With them. If they want to make money, I'm with them. Because if we can find a different revenue stream like that, then I don't have to sell players. I don't want to sell. You know, I won't get Real Madrid knocking on Cole Palmer's door 4 years from now, say, hey, waving 100 mil in front of these Chelsea owners, because I know they'll take it. In 4 years' time, if Real Madrid wave 100 mil in front of Chelsea, they'll take it, and Cole Palmer will be gone. If we have and build our revenue stream right now, build what we have right now, we can sustain and we can carry on being the big club that we are. There's a lot of sponsorship deals apparently that have been spoken about for Chelsea. We have a bunch of options. We have a bunch of options that we can choose from. It's actually looking insane. I'm gonna put up a picture for you guys of the potential sponsorships. For some reason, I'm looking at that Demac shirt and I'm like, man, Demac came through in the hottest time when we needed them. You know, they advertise our shit everywhere. They put out things all over. They built a damn hotel in Dubai and called it the Chelsea Sanctuary because just of how much they appreciated us advertising them, and we appreciated the 55 million they gave us. They gave us 55 million when we weren't even in the Champions League, guys. You know, we're not going to get these 100 million pound deals that Man City are able to finesse. We need to talk about that, by the way, guys. Man City back to doing their dodgy things, but we're not going to get those big money deals. You know, so they came in 55 mil when we needed them the most. Nice boost. And honestly, that 55 mil they gave us, because they gave us close to the end of the year, we used that money to buy Liam Delap. Let's be honest. If you ask me, I'd say let's go Demac, man. I love me some Demac, and if they can raise it up to 60 mil, let's take it. Even though I know there's been offers from Jordan for 70 mil and all these different things. I don't know. I don't want to help these big brands that are already massive. That are just throwing money and not caring, you know. I feel like it's also good to be affiliated with a sponsor that feels, you know, inclined to appreciate the fact that you appreciated them. And remember what happened to us with the sponsor 3, who were on the jerseys in 2020 and 2021. As soon as we got sanctioned, what did they do? I know they're a UK cellular company, but as soon as we got sanctioned, they stripped their sponsorship off of all of our jerseys. The women's team, the men's team. And I was like, this is insane, but you guys haven't even proved that our owner is doing anything dodgy in Ukraine. And just because the UK government wants to sanction us, you guys say, let's be sanctioned. And honestly, guys, I want to speak about that because there's been a book that's been released. Roman Abramovich has released a book. I think Nick Purell. There we go, guys. So the book is called Sanctioned. I have it up for you here. Sanctioned. Inside story of the sale of Chelsea Football Club. I'm going to leave the link to this story in the description below. I want to read this book personally. I do want to know what true story happened. I want to know from the horse's mouth. I want to know from Roman Abramovich himself, you know, because there's interviews here with Roman Abramovich. I want to hear how this club was taken from this man, you know, because a lot of politics was involved. Because honestly, if I'm being honest with you guys, the money of the sale of Chelsea is still sitting in the UK bank till this day. How is that okay? How is that all right? How is that this man's personal money for club that he bought? He bought the club for hundreds of millions, built it into a billion dollar business, sold it at a flat rate, and he didn't even want the money. He said all this money needs to be sent to who? Everybody affected from the war on both sides of Ukraine and Russia. The UK was like, nope, we're not having that. We don't want that. We want this money to be sent only to Ukraine. If it's not only being sent to Ukraine, then sitting in a bank for Barclays. So, yeah, Barclays Bank, UK bank, right? I think you guys are corrupt. Give the money back to the owner of that money. It's $2.5 billion sitting there, just growing interest in your account, right? Lovely jubbly. as the British would say. Okay guys, it's been a pretty long video today. I've given you a lot of information. Let's laugh a little bit. Let's laugh a little bit before I say goodbye to you guys. Let's laugh a little bit with me. I'm gonna put up a little bit something for you to see as well. Look at that. Noni unveiled as a gunner. Look at that. Noni unveiled as a gunner. Look at these. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players that used to be Chelsea players and now are Arsenal players. I don't know why this new regime or this new ownership is so okay with selling players to Arsenal. It's honestly gross if you ask me, but whatever. So Noni Madueke says, glad to join the best club in London. Really, Noni? Really? Okay. And how many Champions Leagues does that club you're wearing on your jersey have? None, by the way. Okay. And then how many Club World Cups does they have? Ooh, they've never even played one because they've never won the Champions League. Ooh, okay. Can't have that. How many Europa Leagues have they won? Ooh, they only made it to a final of the Europa League. Didn't they lose to Chelsea in that Europa League final? Ooh, they did. Noni, you're a joke, bud. You're a joke, bud. Listen, mate, you have joined the average club in London, and yeah, I wish you nothing but horrible terror. Yeah, guys, let's end this with a bit of lighthearted joke. That was a nice little moment. I will release a short about the news on Xavi Simons. I don't want to drag this on any longer than it is. Peace out, guys. Like and subscribe.